We have had the past few months with an intense political atmosphere as the clock ticks. Now 11 days to the much anticipated general election. And we at Radio 44 collated this debate so that we can hear straight from the horse's mouth what to expect in the next 5 years from our immediate leaders, the members of County Assembly. Hello, and my name is Tabi, and I will be your moderator right here on the Radio 44 studios. And I am joined by the first 6 aspirants who responded to our invitation. And I believe that the voters of Parklands Highridge ward are ready to hear what each of you have to say in respect to the coming elections or the coming 5 years. The candidates have agreed to the rules of the debate, I believe. And welcome, gentlemen. We have the incumbent MCA, Jayendra Malde of the Jubilee Party, Kanu's aspirant, Harish Patel, and independent candidates Murad Rayani, Kassim Hassanali, and Ronak Mistry. Roots Party aspirant Arjun Chauhan had confirmed his attendance but is a no-show, so we will continue. Welcome again. So we shall conduct a series of questions carefully chosen to touch on the assessed issues surrounding Parklands Highridge ward. And to begin, each of you will have 30 seconds just to tell us who you are and a little bit about your background. So the order will be Mr. Ronak, Mr. Malde, Mr. Kassim, Mr. Murad, and then Mr. Harish, then Mr. Murad. So in 30 seconds, go ahead and tell us, who are you and what is your background?
Okay. Hello to all listeners. Hello to fellow my colleagues who are with me here. My name is Ronak Mistry, 31 years old. Born and brought up in Kenya, the 4th generation, a youth who has a vision for Parklands to do well. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Ronak. Mr. Malde.
Thank you, Tabi, and thank you, Radio 44. My name is Honorable Jayendra Malde. I am the sitting MCA for Parkland Highridge ward. Before I joined the politics, I was a businessman, and still I'm a businessman too. And my background, I stayed in Parklands since 37 years. And just to give you a gist, I was a social worker since 1991, and still I'm doing the social work. Again, also I'm serving the people of Parkland Highridge ward as a member of County Assembly in Westland constituency. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Malde. Mr. Kassim.
Thank you so much for having the invite to arrive at your studios, Radio 44. And indeed, sending all my jumbos, halos, namaste to all your listeners. My name is Kassim Hassanali. I am a journalist and an award-winning entrepreneur in Parklands in motor security and trucking business. I have transformed myself from having a small foundation called Kassim Hassanali Foundation, and it is what is transforming me now to become very strong in politics, because I have discovered that also for me to set up and let go of the things that I wanted to do in conjunction to the foundation, it lies hand in hand with being a politician. And here I am. I'm one of the aspirants for Parklands Highridge ward 2022.
Thank you very much. Mr. Harish.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Radio 44, for giving us this opportunity to come live on the radio. My name is Harish Patel. I have come in politics for last 3 decades and still trying and vying for it. I've been a social worker in Kenya for last 35 years. I was one of the Westgate heroes, have been doing every kind of social work within the vicinity of Kenya. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Murad.
Well, thank you. I think thank you, Radio 44 and the team here. I think this is a first. I think it's very important that the people of Parklands get to hear the vision that each one of us has. I've been a journalist for the last 20 years. I've made documentaries about human rights, about politics, about the environment. You name it, I've been everywhere. I've filmed in the slums. And after doing all of this and seeing what bad policies and bad politics does to people, I thought, why not take a stand? If not now, then when? And my vision is to make Parklands a model ward for Nairobi, model for Kenya and for the rest of the world.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Murad. Now, Parklands Highridge ward as it is has got some issues, yeah? And we know them as aspirants. But I'd like to know, according to each one of you, what are the two main issues facing Parklands Highridge ward? That's the question. And we'll again go in the same order. Mr. Ronak, in 30 seconds, tell us what are the two main issues you think?
According to me, the two main issues which Parklands is facing and all the people living in Parklands, I classify Parklands into two sectors, first of all. Because we have like the local 1 inches who are going through a lot of problems, which is mainly a huge crowd which is in like the deep sea slum. And we have like the Asian communities, like who have all the facilities which they require, whether it's healthcare, whether it's education and everything. The two main issues which I would love to tackle is, one is the youth empowerment, where people are jobless, which we need to look into it. And the second one, I guess, is the roads, which are very messed up, which we need to carpet them, which needs to be done. That's to beautify Parklands. So in two sectors, because the local example, the Asian communities, they have all the facilities which they don't. Even the listeners will agree with me. So my main focus is in the locals, because they are going through a lot of ups and downs. So we need to see them, even the children like of the slum, we need to cater for them the education which they don't have. They're loitering around on the streets.
Okay.
So the main two issues, they're the ones apart from the manifestos which I have. But yes, this needs to be taken care of.
All right, sir. Thank you very
Yes.
much. We'll get into manifestos later. According to you, Mr. Malde, what are the two main issues facing the ward?
Thank you, Tabby. From my side, you see, the biggest challenge is the job opportunities, unemployment. That is the biggest challenge, not only in Parklands Highridge ward, but throughout Kenya and as a world as a whole. After COVID, statistics and everything went upside down, and people realized that time is short and anything can change anytime. Again, if you can see, since I came since 2017, I managed so many things regarding the infrastructure also. I made to recarpet most of the roads within Parklands
Okay,
Highridge
so I'm
ward.
going to interject a little bit. Please let's stick to the response of a question. We're talking about the two main issues you think, not what you have done, yeah? So the two main issues, you've mentioned joblessness. The other one, please.
And the cleanliness of the Parkland Highridge ward also. We are getting a lot of challenges, and with the support of the people of Parkland Highridge ward, we can change it within the few months to come. And I think basically, if you can see, the Parkland Highridge ward is one of the best ward within 85 wards of Nairobi City County. And there is not much challenge compared to other wards also. And again, the population is growing. Development is there. So challenges are bound to come, and we have to face it and we have to overcome it.
Okay.
And we'll do it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malde. Mr. Kassim.
Thank you so much, Toby. For me, the 2 pointers will be, first of all, will be the business community. The business community are facing a big challenge. Most of them are complaining about the interference with the city county. Let me give an example. For example, you're a radio station. You've paid all your duties. You've paid all your taxes, and again, you've paid your license from the Communications Authority of Kenya. Tomorrow, a city council guy walks into your compound and asks for something small. You have all the documents. You need to go each and every level to protect your business. Now, another challenge they face is the congestion, the public utilities and infrastructure in Parklands. You can merely walk in Parklands or drive in Parklands, and just in front of you, you see an Uber taking a U-turn in front of you. There's no parking, the spaces are congested, public utilities. Imagine the last pointer on this is that Parklands, people in Highridge, we don't have a public toilet. So when my brother is talking about progress in Parklands, we should now look into the utilities and public sector.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Harish.
Good morning again, Tabi. Thank you. As we know, Parklands is very important word, not only in Nairobi, but also in the part of Kenya, where we have very many culture people around. Mine is going to be security first to enable everybody to be work freely, have their freedom which is required, which they have never had it, which we used to have it before, but now it is not there. To bring youth in employment plus the street children to get good education. We don't want to have street children around. They get good education. I will try to talk to these government schools, try to bring them in school so that we don't get them around, and bring street lights back as we were having before. That's my...
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Harish. Finally, Mr. Murad.
Thank you, Tabi. I think what Ronak said was very important and interesting. You sort of have two kind of Parklands, Highridge, right? So you've got some of the ones who are more wealthy, and then you've got the problems in deep sea. But actually they're connected, because if you look at the inhabitants of deep sea or Kwajoroge or Maasai over here, you know, the Kijijis as we call them, most of them actually, they're the cooks, they're the ayahs, they're the ones serving you food, they're the security guards. So we have a vested interest in trying to uplift them, because it's not just about them, it's also about us. So it has to be two ways in terms of how we approach it. The other thing I think, and I think there is a lot of problems with Parklands, so we need to really fix them properly. The other thing, what I've been concentrating on is the environment, because I think the environment is a cross-cutting issue. It affects the wealthy people, it affects the poor people, thanks. So we've already started our cleaning, and what I'm saying is...
so please, it's the issues
So I'm saying, you know, let's work out how we can uplift the people of deep sea as well. I agree with that. And the environment. We started working on that. And so what we're saying is mazingira safi, roho safi, siasa safi. It's got to be start by cleaning up the basic roads, the hygiene, and that will lead to better things all round, I think.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Now, let's talk about party affiliations. Now, 3 of the members here are independent candidates, and 2 of you are affiliated to different parties. Mr. Harish, we'll start with you. You are affiliated to the KANU party. Maybe tell us why you are affiliated to this party, and what are the core values of the party?
Well, as we know KANU was the first party to be brought up in Kenya, with which we started with our first president. So did we have the second one. Then we got in democracy. We got different parties coming in. We started getting a lot of kind of problems and work shipment and everything. The way we have got a big debt to pay to the other countries is now. We wish back to come in power so that we bring the country back to normal as what it was before.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Malde, Jubilee Party. Tell us why and what are the core values of the party.
Since 2017, I was in the Jubilee Party. I was vying in the Jubilee Party. And the focus of the party is to take Kenya ahead and to job creations, empowerment, health, education, security. Those are the manifestos of our Jubilee Party. And we are now in Azimio la Umoja. You see, 26 parties has get into one party called Azimio la Umoja. So now I am the candidate of Azimio la Umoja. And again, if you can see, the focus is to take Kenya at the next level for that. And I think we, as Azimio la Umoja, we will deliver what we had promised. Again, on the health sector, again, on the education and infrastructures, security, and many other things.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll start with Mr. Kassim as an independent candidate. Why did you choose to be affiliated or stick as an independent candidate, and what are your core values?
Right. Thank you, Tabi. First of all, I was in UDA. Okay? Like I told you, I'm a transforming aspirant, right? For the records, while I was in UDA, things did not go very right for us. There was dubious elections and a lot of misunderstanding, and we lost the seat. Okay? But after consultation with my team, with my people in Parklands, they decided, because you're still a strong candidate who was running around, going on the ground from corner A to corner B. You see, Parklands is a big ward, starting from Museum Hill all the way to Spring Valley. Okay? So they decided, because I'm an independent person, because I am a team person, that's when I decided to go to independent. Okay? And what's your second question,
The core values that you uphold as an independent candidate.
The core values is to let's change Parklands for real, as it is my slogan. My slogan still advocates for change in Parklands. Let me tell you something about Parklands that you don't know. Parklands is clustered into two clusters. First cluster is for the people who are the natives here, who live here. Okay? The second cluster is the diaspora. Most of them work for us. Most of them, they serve us. They wash clothes for us. They are cleaners. Okay? They are border guys. They are mama bogas. But to my surprise, they need also to be included into the policy, but they were not included. They are voters for Parklands. Okay? So this diaspora market also have a need, and also us in Parklands, living in Parklands, have a need. Now, two things are clashing here. Guys don't have jobs. Since the pandemic for Corona, we've been having a lot of problems. Okay, every corner you're going, whether it's in Matatu, whether it's on border, whether you're parking, someone here or there talks about jobs. Okay, people are left pointless. Okay, they don't know what to do. There's a lot of depression going on. Okay, second thing is, what are we supposed to do? There are things that you're asking for as a favor, and there are things that you're asking for in the ward in regards to Kenyan law that you need to be given. Like I just stated before, when you're asking me the other questions, I was talking about sanitation. There's no proper toilet. You look at everywhere, the Parkland is congested. We don't have security lights.
So,
okay?
Sir, what you're saying is what you will do, or what your issues will
I'm
highlight?
intending to see that, because those are the loopholes. And the last one, but not least, from your question, is that look at us. How many aspirants are we in Parklands? It's a record breaking. We are almost 19 for the records. Why is it so? Because most of us are burning with desires. Each one of us wants to make that change. And that's what I'm advocating as Kassim Hassanali, aspirant, Parklands Highridge Ward 2022. I want to put my best foot forward on and off.
Okay, thank you very much.
Right. Okay, I think let's be honest. Since 2002, I think that was the only really credible election in Kenya. So all of them have been controversial. They've led to fighting. They've led to displacement. And who's responsible for this? The parties. The parties are the ones who come and look for votes when they need them, and then they forget the people, right? So let's be honest about that. The main parties have failed us. And the main parties have done something even much worse, is they've turned people against each other. Yesterday they're together, like a married couple, and then they divorce and they find, they partner again. What's just happened? These guys who were in bed together, they started fighting, and now the other guys are in bed together. So I would say, look, the parties have failed. So I think we need fresh ideas, independent ideas, transformational ideas. So that's why me, as Murad Rayani, I'm standing independent.
What are your core values then?
I think my core values are integrity, accountability, not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. A leader must not just say something, he or she must stick by it. So that's the principal value, and I think that's what's been missing in our politics for the last, maybe since independence, right?
All right. Thank you very much. I believe we've covered all of us. Straight into the manifestos. In 1 minute, please go ahead and state what your manifesto is. And of course, we will go with the same order. Please take about a minute, yeah? All right. Karibu sana, Mr. Ronak.
Okay. Talking about manifestos, I guess manifestos, if you ask all the aspirants, everybody's manifesto is almost similar. there's nothing French about it. Whether it is roads, whether it's bursaries, giving it to the students out there, or waste management, or proper oversighting, well, whether it is water, which we are facing a lot of issues. So I have about 5 or 6 points of my manifesto which I want to look into it, but the main ones are, I think, the youth empowerment, which is we are facing a lot, as I classified Parklands into 2 sectors, which we need to work with the private sectors and get people jobs. So people, because the issue for everybody is money. Money is what is issue. So if you have the money, then you living a better life. So bringing the job creation is very crucial. Security, we need to beef it up in Parklands. There's a lot of police harassment, as we see on the roads. For petty things, we have to pay them. We need to look into that. Water, as I said, is we have facing a lot of rationing in every house. So those are the kind of manifestos which we need to look into it.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malde.
Thank you, Tabe. My manifesto for number 1 is empowerment and creation of jobs. When everybody is busy, the problem of the security will be less. Affordable healthcare, that is the biggest challenge, not only in Parkland Highridge Ward but throughout Kenya. People can't afford for the health also. So we want to focus on the affordable healthcare. Then again, we want to focus on the education, on the education side, that each and every child is going to the school. Once you are educated, you start thinking in a different way, that how to build the country and how to build your area. That's again also it's a big challenge. And again, any country or any city without infrastructure, there is no sustainability, or you cannot progress. So I want to highlight on the infrastructure also. Again, infrastructure, and as a MCA of Parkland Highridge Ward, mine is representation, legislation and oversight. That is my job also. So that is my core manifesto.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Malde. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Kassim.
Thank you so much. On my 7-pointer manifesto, yes, it looks more similar to others, but we are very different in thoughts, in what we want to do. For example, mine will protect, transform, and create a vibrant business atmosphere for the people of Parklands. Like I had first initiated a process whereby we will have a data collection of all business centers. We will look into levies. We will look into double licensing, things like that. Then the second one is upgrade public utilities and infrastructure. I had stated earlier that the roads are in a pathetic situation. For example, your studio is on 16 Mogosho Road, right?
19.
Yeah. So you can attest, if you are driving or you're coming right to your studios, the roads are pathetic. Okay? So that's what we want to fix with good roads. Just behind you on Westlands Road, there's a JW Marriott. It's an international landmark here in Westlands. On the other side, there's Microsoft on Ring Road, Parklands. In the center of Westlands, we have Safaricom, which is a giant. We have hospitals. We have Mpisha, we have Aga Khan, all these people, all these residents, all these business, blue chip companies, including you, media. You need a very good and smooth roads to lead you to your business and to your houses. Then we are looking into investing into technology. Look at our youth. They don't know even what to do. There are so many things we can do to them. First, we need to teach them. Okay, you see, like when I was going on ground, I met somebody who has amazing ideas, but he doesn't know what to do. For example, if you give them money, how will you transform them to continuity? Will you be giving them money? Not every day is a political season. Not every day is a Christmas day. Okay, so we are looking into building and investing more into technology and technological innovations and inventions whereby we can do startups, we can start circles. You can imagine in Parklands, we have more than 20 chairmen of Boda Boda, and all of them are not helping people. Okay? One who is stronger cannot accept bikes from the other person. We don't have a circle for Mama Mboga. I've never heard of it. I live in Parklands, born and bred here, gone to school here. I've never heard of any chama for related to Mama Mboga. We can have chamas for ourselves. For example, when I was in media, we used to have a chama for media. Okay? When I was doing business, we used to have a chama for trucking companies. Now we don't have a chama for these small and also blue chip and SME companies. We need to protect them. Okay? They need, for example, CSR activities. If we go to Safaricom or we go to Sarit Center, we are housing the biggest malls in Parklands Highridge Ward. We have Sarit, we have Westgate, we have Diamond Plaza 1, Diamond Plaza 2. They can do something for us. I mean, they can chip in and say, maybe, can you make some of our roads? Can we promote you with teaching some of these students? You can also offer talent. We see talent shows, and as we identify 2 or 3 cases, you assist us. So we need to work together, and that's under technology and innovations. And last but not least is education bursaries. Okay, bursaries is a thorny issue. Okay, another thing is that I have met street kids along Westgate. Some might have a good story, some might lie, but we need to take them to school. We are reaching a point whereby university degree will be scattered everywhere. People will be going for postgraduate criteria so that you are given one of your jobs which you are applying for. So if somebody has not gone to school on primary level, you're waiting to go to secondary level, another year another rule comes or another government comes in and puts a stop of what you've gone to school. So you see, education is going to play a critical opponent, and on the other side, we are not providing that education. Schools are dilapidated. They don't have basic needs. Look at North Highridge Primary. It doesn't. Juzi so it didn't have a window. Mari doesn't have what. Arambeza, just a pathetic things. And I can tell you, all these Weshimiwas you're seeing here, they have done a good job. Each and every one of them has tried to assist the community.
Okay.
Okay. Last one is to create Parklands kitty and rescue operations. Just the other day, you hear deep sea is burnt. Some of us here, including me, we have gone there, walked there, given them food, given them mabatis, given them mattresses. But the next week, again it's burnt. We don't have money to give, but we have the will to drive the engine to help them. Nobody is assisting us. We don't have even anybody who's funding us. So you see, that becomes our problem. You guys will be seated amicably in your houses, sleeping, but we are handling crisis here in Parklands. Most of them don't know where to go, they don't know what to do, and they don't have such kitty, is what ends my manifesto as pointer number 7. Thank you, Tabi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Harish.
Thank you once again. Mine, as my other Mashimiwas have said, I just want to add 1 or 2 things in between. Like the way Honorable just said, I would like to bring in scholarship and bursaries for the street children, everybody who can go and study in any kind of situation where we are capable of doing every kind of things. We bring rehabilitation against street children, which will enforce them and encourage them while being there to remove them. We remove them out from the road. And as the committee and the business, as he has just told us, we must be having the biggest malls here in Parklands with the residents, and very good kind of residents, where we always get problems of security. Instead of doing it the other way around, we try to go in the security, we talk to the police officers and come as a team. The very first thing that we have to do is have a unity in Parklands to create everything what has to be in the ground level. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Finally, Mr. Murad.
Thank you. I think, let me try and use my Swahili. So viongozi wengi wanakuja tangu hiyo siku ya kupiga kura, or before that, wanalete ahadi wengi. Sisi ni watu ya vitendo, we're people of action. So like Ronak said, your manifesto can promise many things. But I think we've got an action plan. So immediately, I think it's very surprising that Parklands Highridge doesn't have a residents association. Most of the other wards in in the city have them, and they're very effective because they bring people together. And once you're together, you can push for, your rights much better when you're talking to the lighting people, when you're trying to unblock drainages. So residents association, we're going to set up immediately as soon as we get in. I think the other thing, security is a big issue. So a 24-hour hotline for security, and also to report issues, drainages, outages. These are some of the things that can be reported in the hotline. I think it's important to not see the security forces and the Kanjo as enemies. We've got to try and bring them in as partners, and we have a vested interest. So, for example, whilst we've been doing the cleaning around Parklands, Highridge, and in Deep Sea, we've engaged the Kanjo. We've brought them in, and they're actually advising us what to do. So I think as a lobby group with a residents association, we can get a lot done. I think the communities, various communities, the Oshwell, the Ismailis, the Sikhs, they have their own security response teams. You get the WhatsApps very often. So let's put that together on one platform that we can link with the security agencies, so we can engage them as well. I think something simple like planting 3,000 trees a year is something we can do. In terms of the economy, we've got to look at solutions that benefit the people. So I think the idea is to create a circular economy. So going back, for example, we've got the ladies from Deep Sea picking up the garbage. We've got Chandaria helping us to recycle. But why not look, and we're talking to Chandaria and some of these people, why not have a basic recycling plant within the area? And then you can recycle and you can make school desks and things like that. This is the way I think, we can uplift our people. I think it's a shame that we don't have public clinics, public libraries, safe places to play. These are all things that need to be done. But again, I think it goes back to choosing the right person. Everybody can make a promise, but who's going to fulfill it? And so that, that's a very important question that, you have to ask as a voter.
Thank you very much, Mr. Murad. Now, in all the mentions of the manifestos, something came out clearly that you seek to help the people or to improve the lives of the people of this ward. But I'd like to know, how would you plan to be accessible? How would you make sure that not just the voter of this ward, but also just normal member of this ward, a resident of this ward, how can they access you upon having an issue to discuss? I think we will begin with the reverse, which is Mr. Murad. Tell us, how do you plan to be accessible to the members of this ward?
Well, like I said, I think if we've got a 24-hour hotline where we can respond, that means people have a place. I think definitely the office will be open so people can come and talk to us, and we'll be responsive. I think part of the failure of the leadership, all over the country, is they're not accessible. When they get into power, you can't reach them. So I think it has to be a responsive office. And I also think what we want to do is we want to have quarterly reports on the projects and the funding, so people are updated. Because at the moment we just don't know how much has been spent, where it's gone. There's no figures for that. So we need to do that. And I think public forums, let's say the quarterly public forums, when people can come and express their needs and wants, will go a long way in helping us to address their issues. So I think that I think would answer the question of accessibility. Okay. Getting the public forums, giving them the information, and responding to them.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Harish.
Well, I think I or our group or whichever the party or whoever comes, like if I have been given, for example, I'm going to put in a group that will be available 24/7 with the offices, which will be collaborated with the officers of police and every kind of security guys around. In any kind of situation, we will be there for their response, which we have been doing it for last 35 years whenever anything has happened. And it is good that as we become now, as we unite and we have the unity, it will bring it more, and it will look like as if it's going to be a part of family for the whole Parkland area. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Kassim.
If you look at the three cardinal roles of an MCA, you find representation plays a major part in what we do. Representation. How do you represent the ward? First of all, we will start with accessibility. The same way we are going to look for votes, the same way we are trying to change Parklands is the same method we are going to use. First, we will do groundwork. I will create a time for the people outside. I think that will give me a mark, and it will be a starting point for the change that I was advocating. Second thing is technology. I mentioned that earlier on my pointers. This technology is going to put us through to local government, the chiefs, the nyumba kumis, the county office, resident associations, like we have Westlands residents group, and we will include others. For example, we have schools group, maybe teachers who want to come in and teach us or give us something else, which we will put on the platform so that we can be reached all the time. We can do the meetings in the schools, we can do the meeting, one of the meetings in the halls, we can take it to the malls if they agree. Because we are reaching out, we are reaching security agents, we are reaching cleaners, we are reaching matatu industry, we are reaching residents association, we are reaching people in business. Another pointer that I might think will add to the reachability of me, or maybe what I'm gonna do for Parklands, is to be on call. Be on call, as much as young and old we are. You see, it's good to have a rescue unit, you see, which will take time to reach there, but I can create an 24-hour approach. Like, for example, we can hire some bikes, or give the youth the opportunity. So we say, this is Parklands, it's for you. Instead of you loitering around, we create 5-member gang, or whatever it's called, or whatever, it's a group, so that it's called rescue gang. It's just rescuing you. Okay? So in case there's someone is being mugged, or you're leaving your office at around 10 a.m. and you can't take a border, these guys can come and say, oh, I missed a border here, I don't want to be mugged. These guys are coming and they are rescuing you. Okay? Mitigation. We need to see the problem vis-a-vis. You see, if we say we are going to put people in one WhatsApp group, what if you don't have an Android phone? You need a call, right? Then if we have the resources, given the resources, we can have 1 or 2, maybe a pickup or a bus. Okay? And we will now submerge them. From the people who have done security, they come on board. From people who are mentors, they come on board. So including what we are doing and the chief's office, the nyumba kumi, the watchmen, people who want to volunteer, we don't do it in communities. We want to submerge all of them to be one, because we are one person. Last but not least, on the same point, the issue of booths. We can have a booth that can assist the community. I remember there's a day when I was going to pick my daughter from school. One child was crying. The father was not on call, and the mother was very sick. So the teachers did not know, but the last minute, where will they take the child? It is a nursery school. They were doing registration. So she came with a maid. See, the school had to ask, where do you live? Where do you go? How can we go? By the time you reach, you will go to police station. But people somehow fear the police station. But the police station is where people go to. So we have a booth, child care center, calls. We can hire some 2-3 youths, come there to that school, pick the child, take the child to the police station. Okay? Maybe we can look also into dead phones or unused phones that were not used, like we pick bicycles and give the kids. So if you're upgrading it to your iPhone and you want to give us your old kabambe, we take it back to the people who don't have. Like, say you'll give nyumba kumi, chairman of a society, you give them one phone and tell them, if you have a pressing need here, you call us. And now we network you back to the police station, back to the community, and where you belong, to be served right and to be given that audience in Parklands. Thank you.
I hear you. Thank you very much. Mr. Malde, you are the sitting MCA, but if elected again for the next 5 years, how do you plan to be accessible?
Thank you, Debbie. As a sitting MCA, we have an office from the Nairobi City County, and we have the staffs also. If there is any problems, people do come, and we have the solution. We can help them regarding the security, regarding educations, regarding the development, any complaints, compliments, because we have the system in place. And Tabi, if you can see, Parkland Highridge ward is a very unique ward and most developed ward. If you can see, there is a lot of activity ongoing 24/7. and many people are coming for the jobs from outside of Parklands Highridge ward. That is, you see, many people coming from Dandora, Gashie, Gatina to come and get a job. We have people from the security, gardeners, maids, so many people, they come and work for within the residents association. So we get a lot of inquiries and we always facilitate to them. Regarding the security, if you can compare from before 2017, it has really gone down, because I am getting the statistics from the police headquarters, from the Parkland police stations and OCPD's Gigiri station also, that we had really improved. Again, if there is incidents is happening, our people don't go and report. So it is a very big challenge. If we don't report, how do we take action? Because we think that everything is normal. But if you go and report, then we take action, that why it has happened, in which area, what not. There is a system in place. Government is really working hard, giving the national government is funding for the infrastructure also. We have Westland Clinic also near Harish Center. People are serving in a free, we don't charge anything. Education also, if you can see, compared to other boards, we have the best schools within Parkland Highridge ward, and they are already full, overbooked. So there is a lot of activities ongoing, and we always improve as and when needs arise of the residents, and so many activities ongoing. It is a 24/7 economy, and things will improve day by day. When I came in 2017, things were not like before, like now. So we had changed the Parkland Highridge ward in an activity, in the creation of jobs, not like before 2017. If you can compare, there is a lot of change. There is a lot of investment has came. There is a lot of constructions ongoing. So that means that there is a positivity within Parklands Highridge ward. It's a conducive environment and people coming and investing. There are a lot of corporates, they had moved from CBD to Parklands Highridge ward because it's a conducive environment.
So you're saying that what you have done for the past 5 years will continue if you are elected?
Yes,
in terms of
we
accessibility.
make better and better. We make better and better, yes.
All right, thank you
We
very
must
much.
continue. Thank you.
Mr. Ronak?
Yes, Tabby. Okay, you can ask. The question was just the accessibility.
Yes, how do you
How
plan to
can
be
the
accessible?
Parklands people get access to me?
Yes.
That's a very simple question. Let's not go around bringing the roads and all that. It's a very straightforward question. MCA has an office. It's very simple. If the people have issues, they can come up and walk into the office. The MCA will be present there. And I'm sure I can increase the staff in the office who can help the people of the Parklands. Another thing, we can actually put on booths also, like on very busy areas where you can take your complaints to those booths instead of you coming into the office, because too many people at one go coming with getting access to the MCA, it becomes too much traffic. Yeah, and we can engage with also communities at community level. We have so many communities, not being racist, or there are so many. We can get access to them, that they can help the MCA, that we have come up with this kind of problems which need to be resolved. That's it. I think it's a very simple,
All right.
straightforward accessibility. That's it.
All right. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. Again, to you, Mr. Malde, you are the sitting MCA. What would you say, in probably a minute, has been your legacy for the past 5 years? What will the people of watakumbuka na nini?
Tabi, since I got elected, let me give you my scorecard. The legacy of mine. I had done the level 3 hospital next to my office. That is number one, because universal healthcare. Our president manifesto was universal healthcare. So we had put up the level 3 hospital. Another one, there was a stalled project of Westland Market since 14 years. We had done it, revived it, and now it is on a working condition, the Westland Market opposite Harish Center. Again, if you can see the history of Parkland Highridge Ward, always the roads were just had a patchwork everywhere. But under my leadership, majority of the roads we had recarpeted. 90% of the roads has been recarpeted. Few are remaining that will get it done as soon as possible. Again, if you can see, as a MCA on the education level, we had given bursaries every year to the needy, to the less fortunate, so student can go and learn. We had given the bursaries. Every time we are getting 750 bursaries every year, and 100% of bursaries we had given to the people who cannot afford the fees. So there is a lot I tried to achieve. And again, if you can see the development before 2017 and now, there is a huge development within Parklands Highridge Ward, and many things we are always improving things as and when is needed.
All right.
Thank you.
Sure.
Jayendra Bhai, just two things. When you say 90% of the roads, I don't see that outside in most of the roads here. But more importantly, I'd like to ask you, what has stopped you from achieving the type of development that you wanted to? What have been the things that you faced that have stopped you from doing the things that better? What were the challenges?
Mr. Murad, if you can see, before I came, there were so many challenges within Parklands Highridge Ward regarding the infrastructure. Like, I give you example of General Matenge Road. It was in a bad, pathetic way. There are so many roads were not done. If you can see, between first and second Parkland, it was not accessible at Masanaka Road. But through public-private partnership, we did a bridge and to ease the traffic. And if you can see, you are the residents of Parkland Highridge Ward, and you can testimony that many of the roads has been done. Like Parklands Road also is recarpeted, Brookside is recarpeted, General Matenge, Mopaka Road, first, second, third are also recarpeted. So things are on a work in progress. Development is never ending.
Sorry,
Thank you.
You asked about the challenges he experienced.
Yeah.
Has he answered your question?
Well, yeah. The question is, okay, obviously you've done certain things. What stopped you from doing more? What were the things that stopped
the
you?
challenge is the funding, because as a MCA we don't get any funding. You see, like MPs, they get their CDF funding for their kitty. But as a MCA, we totally rely on the executive side, on the governor side, and they have to look into all the 85 wards. So they have to proportionate to get the funding for the development and infrastructure.
All right.
Thank you.
So we've picked up on funding as a challenge. He's answered your question?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Malde, I will stick by you a little bit. There are expectations laid out in the Chapter 6 of the Constitution about leadership and integrity, and your integrity has been in question before. In 2018, the EACC carried out a sting operation and you were arrested for demanding a bribe of 5.7 million shillings. What is your response to that?
You see, when I got elected as a MCA, there was a land cartels within Parklands Highridge Ward, and I was fighting the land about Highridge Clinic in 3rd Parkland. Again, there is a grabbed road near Deep Sea also. We were fighting that. also. Whenever you do good things, there are a lot of enemy of yours. So I was fighting for that. Then what happened? They did the setup for me. They came to my house on a Friday night at 11 o'clock without any arrest warrant.
So we're talking about the EACC?
Yes, please. EACC, yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah. And they said that you are under arrest. So I said, for what? That you took a bribe. Then I said, I don't have anything with me. So they took me, they arrested me Friday night. They taken me to EACC. They took my details and then they taken to me Kilimani police station for 3 good nights. I stayed in 3 good nights Kilimani police station. Monday morning, they didn't have any evidence, so they released me on a case bail. There was no case to answer. I had not gone to the court. They didn't took me to the court also because there was no evidence. And I was released. Again, we have Powers and Privileges Committee in our National Assembly. They investigated my case also. They didn't find any corruption case. So it was a clean bill for me also from Powers and Privileges Committee. Again, I was cleared by DPP and EACC also. And that proof is with me here that I was cleared by the DPP and by EACC and by Committee of Powers and Privileges also. This is the proof that there was no evidence, that I did nothing wrong. I was fighting for the cartels and I will do the right thing in my life. I'm up to now also I'm a very, very clean man. If I had done anything wrong, they should have taken to me court. They should have charged me. Why not up to now? They haven't taken to me the court.
So,
and this is the clearance paper.
So we're saying the accusations were faulty?
It was faulty, yeah. It was a setup to ruin my name. It was totally set up because I was fighting for the people of Parklands, Highridge Ward. And you know the problem of the land cartels is always there.
Gentlemen, if you have an interjection or a comment, please feel free to throw it in.
Kindly, let me ask him, our incumbent. There's a problem for land cartels. Yes, I agree. But why is it that you are involved in this case? Because you have shown us the paper. Yes, we have seen it. We've been following it up. And the presenter, Tabi, asked you the question of what was happening with that story. See, they can't just wake up in the morning and they come to you without anything. So what was the reason? Maybe if you can explain. Was it because of the land cartels, or was it because you clashed with somebody, or was it because of office duties? Because we don't know what it was. So you are the one who can bring it up and tell us what it was.
Mr. Kassim,
Yeah.
in politics, when you become a leader, there are a lot of enemies behind and in front of you. Simple example, when you are fighting for any good reason for the people of Parklands, Highridge Ward, there is a lot of enemy. If I did something wrong, then why they had not charged me? Why they had not taken to the court? And again, as a MCA, my work is representation, legislation and oversight.
100%.
Yes, that's what we are doing.
Okay, another thing is that what we hear, because you see, all of us are on ground, right? We hear that the land that was built in your, the project that was built in your office for the level 3 hospital was a compensation of the hospital land that was allocated for, where in Highridge, where Nakumat Highridge was, right?
Next to it, yeah.
So what's the story behind the two? Because we don't understand. Maybe you're shedding more light, so we need to understand what happened. Because the two are coiled together. They're coiled within coils of what happened there. So we don't understand why a whole MCA is seated next to a level 3 hospital. And legally, I think the hospital should be separate.
Next
and
to
the office,
mall.
yeah, next to the
Exactly.
mall. Yeah, exactly,
Yes.
Ronak. So why is it that the hospital is coming very next to your office, and we hear the land is compensated for by the guys who are building the hospital, right? The
Actually,
developers or something like that.
Just before you respond to that, there was a listener question exactly asking the same thing.
Oh.
And the question was based on I'll just state it as it was. The
Yes,
question is,
okay.
Mr. Malde, what happened to the land adjacent to the Nakumat Highridge that you went and celebrated and publicized with Mr. Badi and
Yes.
Mr. Tim, as you claimed back from land grabbers meant for a hospital, and as we speak, it has been developed into flats today. That was the question, which I think is in line with
Yeah,
what Mr.
that's it,
Kassim is
yeah.
asking. So, Mr. Malde, your integrity is really in question here, and they're asking, what happened to the land?
Tabi, I'm very, very clean. If my integrity is in question, the agencies should have taken their actions.
No. What
Okay.
I'm trying to ask you
And
is
again-
very simple.
again-
Mr. Malde, hold on. She's trying to ask you is very simple thing. The construction that is going on, which you and Buddy went, the building is going after that,
Yes.
whatever you brought next to the office,
Yeah.
which in fact is not supposed to be there because it's a sports ground for children. Let's go that way. School children sports ground.
Yeah.
How was it built a level 5 hospital there, first of all?
It's not a level 5 hospital, it is a level 3
Level
hospital.
Yeah, whichever.
Okay.
Hmm.
That land in question was Highridge. It's still, there is a problem going on, and the Senate is investigating that land again. And the construction has been stopped.
So
Also.
we don't have the hospital being built right now.
No, construction has been stopped at the Highridge.
Or at the Highridge.
Yeah, and the
Okay.
Senate is investigating that matter.
Okay.
So land is in a problem right now, is under investigation
Okay.
through the Senate.
Okay.
Yes, and then when I got elected, I told that I will get the hospital done. And I told His Excellency the President that I need the hospital because I had gone to the Facebook also that if I am not getting the hospital, let me resign as a MCA, because I promised to my people for Parklands Highridge that we will have a level 3 hospital. And again, NMS, when NMS came, they had allocated the land because the land was separate, not on the school side. Yeah, it was a residence of the people there. So they said this spot is right, it's good, and then we can build it up. And they did the level 3 hospital.
Okay, again, let me come again back to the same thing. Like, you are the sitting MCA, okay? What could you have done? Because our 3 cardinal roles is to represent, legislate, and oversight. So I believe you being the MCA, you had to put the hospital at the right place, because you are talking with the president the way you're saying, and you had the influence and the power. We still don't feel like it's okay for you to put the hospital next to your office. Maybe one of us, or you'll still be there, or one of us will occupy that office. But we feel like hospitals are sacred, just like mosques and churches. You see, if I build a church or a mosque or a mandil in my compound as the sitting MCA, it raises eyebrows and questions. Just like a cockroach, the antenna will be high on everybody. And I think that's one of the things that it is making you feel like all the time you need to explain to the people what you need, what is happening there. See, there's a question there, why the hospital was built there.
So I'm actually gonna cut you short,
Yeah.
but I'd like to clarify something, Mr. Kassim. When you say we, are you speaking for you and the rest of the members present here, or are you speaking for you and the members of the ward?
I speak for myself, but sometimes when we interact with other aspirants, we sort of like have a question mark, or even the people question that.
I think I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
When he says we,
Yeah.
we have the similar questions.
Yeah.
because everybody asked him the same thing.
Same.
All right.
Because like
And
the
I
way
guess-
if it was the Highridge stuff, they should have brought those to the clinic back.
In fact, I guess before even the level 3 hospital being taken to there,
Exactly.
like if you step deep sea slum where
Yeah.
we have the majority of the
Majority.
crowd, 15,000.
Exactly.
When actually I walked in there, I think they have a hospital there.
Hospital,
a
yeah,
mini
small one,
hospital, which doesn't have beds, which doesn't have drugs,
Yeah.
which doesn't have nurses,
It is just
doctors,
a label.
and they just told even an ambulance they don't have. So why take the level 3 hospital so far when you can't cater for the slum people? First start from there, then make a hospital. Because for 15,000 people, emergency from there to the level 3 hospital where it's been built, it's a big stretch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is already
Very
a
true.
hospital built in the deep sea slum where
Yeah.
we have more than 15,000 people.
They have utilized that money
That-
in that clinic.
Put
Okay.
doctors there, put drugs there, put nurses there, even an ambulance they don't have.
Very
Where
true.
there is a very big emergency.
Thank
Very
you.
true.
Thank
Yes.
you very much, gentlemen. Mr. Malde, 30 seconds, please, so we can move to the next question.
Tabi, in the deep sea, the hospital is run by the Catholic Church. It is not of the government hospital. It's a private hospital, yeah.
Yes.
And again, the hospital we are building is within Parkland Highridge Ward. You see, I spoke to the government. I spoke to NMS that what I need is a hospital. They identify the land. They said we can do this hospital here, and I didn't have the time. I said what I need is a hospital, and they started the work. It doesn't matter whether it is in Dipsy or wherever. It is within Parkland Highridge Ward.
It matters.
It is within
it matters.
Parkland Highridge Ward.
No. It
Even
matters.
Kenyatta Hospital is far away.
My friend,
And people
that
are
is a
going there
government-
also.
That is a government
Yeah.
hospital. There it is the center. It was built even before we came in. Let's go that way.
No. What
No,
I am
no,
talking
no.
about, I had requested for the hospital and we got the
Yeah,
level
which-
3 hospital.
what I
It
like-
doesn't matter. It is in Parkland Highridge Ward.
All right. Okay. So we'll leave the question at that, but we will come back to a question related to land matters. Back to you, Mr. Malde.
Yep.
Can I just one thing? You know, sorry, Jayendra Bhai. Are you aware? So I went the other day. There's this Arya Samaj here, the girls.
As I said, the land issue,
Okay.
we will come back to
All
it.
right, all right.
Yeah. Still on the matter of leadership and integrity. Mr. Harish, there was a matter that came up that in 2021 you were arrested and charged with extortion, possession of an illegal firearm, and attempting to extort 10 million shillings from a trader. This is back in 2021. And in 2020, you were also arrested for allegedly impersonating police officers. What is your response to this, Mr. Harish?
Well, I was glad that I became famous that time. Number one. Number two, it was to do with somebody who was really in need when she was in need. It's just unfortunate that money power talks in Kenya. The thing was that it was very well planned. I had to suffer the consequences of helping an innocent person who was done some things which the law did not follow its courses, and I had to face it, but with the graces of God, I'm through and over with it.
So just to be clear, the 10 million shillings is how you assisted the person in case?
No, that is what they had put on me because it was to do with somebody who was raped. I tried to help that person, of which we had evidences and everything, but unfortunately, he is a person who can afford anything in Kenya, of which there is ego that anything can buy or anything with money power can do anything in Kenya.
And were you cleared of these charges?
I was cleared and again it has restarted, of which I know we'll go through it and we will win again.
All right. What about the impersonating police officers in 2020? Because you were arrested for that allegedly, right?
No. You see, I am a firearm holder, civil, of which I have my certificate. Of as you have seen, I have been in lot of scenarios when insecurity or anything to do with anything that happens in Kenya. I move myself. I bring myself first forward to assist Kenyans because Kenya is ours. Not to spoil the name, as we had our scenario of Westgate, which I was the first responder with Haji Junior, Vinay Sawani and other officers who were with me. Then we had a Dusit problem, which I intervened myself without a bulletproof jacket at that time because we never expected something like this to happen in Westgate. We thought it's just a normal robbery. But unfortunate, we had a terror attack and which we tackled. And we won against them. The same happened in Dusit. And I am a person which I am known by everybody that anything happens, I bring myself first forward.
All right. Okay. Sorry, I'll just take you back to the 2021. The possession of an illegal firearm. At this point in time, was that charge cleared as well?
You see, as I told you, which they could not. I am a civil firearm holder, of which I am being given and being approved by the Kenya government. Still, as they are saying, or whichever the way they say that I am illegal, if I had it illegally, how come I have my card and my firearm book with me? And I was brought live on TV when I was investigated with the firearm. How come I was not charged that time?
All right. Okay. Gentlemen, we are comfortable with the feedback we're receiving. All right. Mr. Malde, I will come back to you because as the sitting MCA, there's a lot of concerns about what you've been doing or what you've done for the past 5 years. Now, there is a general perception that from the people in the ward and on social media as well, that you have not delivered much as an MCA in the past 5 years. Yeah.
Exactly.
So why should they give you another 5 years?
Tabi, as I mentioned, since I got elected, I had already given my scorecard also. And I'm again repeating that whatever I had achieved, the former MCAs never achieved. Regarding the infrastructure also, regarding the health sector, education, in fact, we had just done boreholes to the 2 schools recently also. During the COVID time also, we really helped the people for the dry ration and so many things. And if you can see, before 27 and right now, between 27 and 2022, there's a lot of difference. And I'm appealing also to the voters also, that whatever the capacity of mine, I will fulfill the capacity, I will promise it and I will deliver it.
You know, having said that you have not delivered much is because you made promises in 2017, which is being said that you didn't quite achieve them. But then in the next 5 years, with regards to the promises you're making, why should they trust your word that you will indeed make these promises if they feel that the past promises have not quite been?
But many of the promises I fulfilled it. Which other one I haven't fulfilled? Can you give me the example?
That's a good question. I want to believe your listeners are listening. So you feel that you're confident that the next 5 years, as per what you're saying you will do, that you will actually do?
100%, yes. Because that's the reason I am elected by the people of Parklands Highridge Ward.
I have a question. 5 years, 2 boreholes in 2 schools. Who can access those boreholes? That water. All the public has to go to those 2 schools to access the water.
As I mentioned, as a MCA, we don't get any funding.
But you have to be in touch with the governor. You have to be on. That is the what is
We
it?
didn't have the substantive governor at that time.
Then what is the use of we are sitting as an MCA if you don't have?
We didn't have the substantive governor.
You see,
but still, we managed. Mr. Ronak,
Alright,
if you are telling,
gentlemen, let's please give Malde
if you are telling about the water problem, water problem is throughout Nairobi.
Okay. Yes.
The supply is less and the demand is very high. 850 million liters we required in Nairobi, but we are getting only 525 million liters. Yeah, because there is not much infrastructure on the dams. We have 4 dams here. Yeah, and the source of the dams, they are supplying to Nairobi County. Again, it is a matter of a national government. Either they do the new dams or the existing dams, they should do the refurbishment to get the more water for the Nairobians. And that our incoming governor has already promised that if he start within 100 days, he will make sure that they will give the water to most of the Nairobians. And again, there is a lot of 200 boreholes was done by NMS within Nairobi city. You see, when there is a demand is high and supply is low,
But
the problem is always there.
But will the
the
borehole
boreholes,
serve
you
the
should have
purpose?
put it in a strategic
Yeah,
place
yeah.
where there would
Where
be
we will
access for the
can
public.
fetch the
If
water
I
from.
want to access water, I don't need to step the schools which you have done there. No, the askari will say no entry. There's a borehole inside you have done for the public.
It's not like that.
Weka kwa deep sea huko.
Yeah.
People need water there.
Yeah.
Then even the smoke
Water is there. Yeah, water tanks is also
There's no
delivered.
water.
Yes.
Alright.
Which tank?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, please let's give Mr. Malde a chance to respond, and
Super,
then we can
no
ask a
problem.
question one by one.
Okay,
Yeah, let's
sir.
not have an
Very
underground conversation.
Yes.
So, Mr. Malde, please just summarize in maybe a minute before we take a break. Defend yourself. The
Maybe
gentlemen
I
in the room
said,
have questions.
I said during my tenure, within 4.5 years, I had achieved a lot, and that is my scorecard. Already I mentioned it, and we will do more and more.
You and who?
Yes, by the government.
All
Yeah.
right. Any other comment or question?
Can I just-
Government is not with him.
Sorry,
Mr. Murad, you
can
have
I
a
just add?
question?
I know obviously whoever comes in will face a lack of funds, but to be honest, some of these things don't cost so much. We've been cleaning in deep sea, even the drainage. We're starting to get people to donate public toilets. It doesn't require access to, the powers that be to get these things done. All the ladies who are at the market, and we buy our bogas from them. They're all sitting there. There's not one public toilet. There must be about 100 people there. So these are these are basic things that you don't need millions and millions of shillings, but they really should have been done.
It was there. They were there before.
And then it was Bomon.
Yeah, in Bomolewa.
Radio 44 went ahead and asked our listeners to send in the questions for the purpose of this debate, just to get a first-hand information about what they would want to know about matters of land, matters of environment, security. And the first question which came up, this one is for you, Mr. Murad. Are you willing to bring sanity back to Parklands by doing a cleanup, removing hawkers from undesignated areas, getting rid of pop-in open market, that is a health hazard, getting rid of piles of trash, and I quote, third, Parklands is a nightmare. Can you restore the beautiful, clean, serene Parklands that was once there?
Yeah, I mean, I think I just would like to begin with a quote, Wangari Maathai. She says, "The generation that destroys the environment is not the generation that pays the price. That is the problem." So I think the environment, yes, absolutely. We've already kick-started this. The other day, we've done the cleaning in Kijijis. We've done, in Kwajaroge, in Deep Sea. The other day, containers donated 10 bins. So finally, these people have a bin that they can put the trash in. So when we're talking about clean, we're already starting, and it's very much, like I said, part of my manifesto. Mazingira Safi, Roho Safi, Siasa Safi. So I'm very ready to do that. And I've proved that we've already started. So it proves that we're in the right direction, heading in the right direction.
All right, there's the issue.
Is that what you were saying? Yeah.
Yes, you have responded to the cleanup. There is the issue of the pop-in open air market as a health hazard. And there's also the issue of removing undesignated hawkers from undesignated areas. So those are the two matters that we'd like to get a response to.
Yeah, I think I don't think necessarily the solution is just to remove them. I think we need to have designated areas that are clean, that have what we were talking about, the public toilets, that have clean running water. Again, I think this is not rocket science. This can be done with the right partners, and it only takes the will to do it. And I do believe also that part of this is actually changing people's behavioral patterns. So whilst we're going around cleaning up, we need to create awareness. So one of the things we want to do is bring that awareness to the schools, because if you can change the habits of children, then they'll grow up as responsible adults, and they'll be the one taking care of the environment. So it's all very well and good to say, okay, we're going to come and clean up, but I think in the long run we have to change behavioral patterns. Rwanda's a good example. They managed to do it, and people are following what needs to be done. So I think whilst we're getting the systems in place, we also need to create the awareness, but we also need to provide bins so that people can put, the trash in. So that's what we've started. We started from a very basic level.
All right. Thank you very much. Would you perhaps do it differently, Mr. Kassim?
Yeah, he has a good point. Just to add on what I can do is like, we missed that Parklands. When we were growing up, we even used to see red roses. Okay? Right now we are seeing forests. Okay? Maybe to do landscaping as part and parcel of what we need to change Parklands with, we need to approach companies or make it like a policy. Like, let's say, for example, we call all the local business communities on Mogosho Road, on Parklands Road, Masari Road, Mtama Road. We call them out and tell them, we can give you the seedlings for free. Can you chip in and take care of the flower bed? Maybe perhaps we can also entice the urban, the plant pots, the beautification of inside our houses. We take it outside. You see, when you walk to corridors or parking areas inside the compound, they're more beautiful than the outside. So why don't we take the norm and also beautify the outside gate, put or some 2 askaris or who are outside there to just water the plants. See, ask them kindly, can you help us? See, for the people who don't have house helps or institutions, they have subordinate staff who can go out of their way. We can call it the change of beautification, and it's still in the act of the city county. It's called climate. There's a climate plan to 2025, to the year 2025. We need to come together, see what Wangari Maathai has done, and now we need to ape a name here in Parklands and turn it round. Parkland is known to be a flowery area, not a bushy area. You're driving and the next instinct is that you're feeling like a branch will scratch your windscreen. You understand? And again, that also, notwithstanding, you should not forget, we have very, very simple and cheap methods. For example, seedlings. Why do you throw your seedlings for your pawpaw or something or a flower outside? Maybe if you have something that can benefit outside, let it be. Okay? And the issue of garbage collection, we don't have dustbins.
Sorry, just to interject. So you're saying if you have like this disposable pawpaw seeds,
yes,
or that they just put them outside in the environment?
Like on the flower. Is it on the side of the roads? We have not built. We don't know the allocated spaces of where we can do it, but outside our gates, I believe there's a nicely manicured lawns outside our gates, so we can beautify it. Instead of beautifying the compounds, we can throw now the seedlings outside, give it 2 months, 3 months. Right now it's very cold. Maybe it won't rain, but when the rain comes, the seedlings will pick up. So we are beautifying Parklands in a cheap and simple form. And again, we also need a nice environment.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll get to the next question from a listener. The question is for you, Mr. Ronak. Within the ward, matatus block roads by stopping in the middle, and border riders do not follow any traffic laws. How will you handle this problem?
I think the borders and they become very chaotic. It's about how you have to engage with them. You can actually bring on board the chairperson for the border,
which I believe they have.
Yes, they have the chairperson, who handles all the border association. You can bring them on board and actually engage with them, like how to respect how they engage on day-to-day basis, because sometimes they become very chaotic, the border guys. Secondly, you said about the matatus, but I guess the matatus, the stages have been built, so I don't think that is a very big issue. Maybe in the Highridge, maybe they should be allocated more of the space, because it's very less. Like example, on the Ojijo road, they just go over the footpaths. So it's all about being on your foot and engaging with them on day-to-day or weekly basis. Obviously, you can't go to each and every driver or, tell him do this or do that. But yeah, you can engage with the heads, like, who they can pass on your message to them. And maybe yet you can relocate them. You can find a bigger space for the matatus, because that stage is very tiny. For if there are, example, 10 matatus waiting for passengers on the side, I think that space allocated for them, I don't think it's their fault, by the way. It is just that the space is very minimal for the bodas to fit on that space.
But
So according to me, yes, you can find a Parklands is big. These are all space, empty spaces. So you can allocate them like stage wise. Like example, in the Gara, they have the whole big stage. Still, it's not enough for them. Still, there's too much congestion. So I don't think it's a big issue, but it's just bringing it in line, like proper.
so it is a regulation matter.
Yes.
So are you saying that besides interacting with this chairpersons and the on-ground leaders, you would probably also put some regulations to just streamline the same matter?
Oh yes, but that's just the way I explain myself, that I don't blame them. It's the space, they don't have it. Because we have very minimal stages. I guess in Parklands, there are very few that they can like park their matatus and wait for the passengers. So if I come on board, I'll actually find bigger space for them, so they can do their ease business on day-to-day basis, which won't bring congestion. And like blocking roads with the private people and the hooting, and it's just to bring in line. Nothing, no big, as you said, no rocket science about the matatus and all.
All right.
It's very simple.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
Mr. Malde. You have been in power. You are the sitting MCA. Would you probably, if elected for the next 5 years, approach this matter of matatu blockages and the problems on the roads with the borders? Would you approach it differently?
Thank you, Tabi. We are engaging with the matatu drivers, conductors, and again boda riders also. Frequently, we tell them to be organized and not to do the nuisances. And again, we have a plan for next 5 years under the new government also. Azimla Umoja, our incoming governor Polycarp Igade has already mentioned in his manifesto to make it organized. Whole of Nairobi will be organized for the traffic also, for the matatu industry, for the boda industry, and we are constantly engaging them. But again, as we Ronak said also, that the stages was a challenge, but we are organizing for the stages also, and very soon you will see organized matatus and bodas.
Is it something that could have been done within the previous 5 years?
It wasn't possible because you see, right now the space is a problem. Right now, yeah. But as new government will coming, their manifesto is already in place, and to organize everything in place. The traffic is all over Nairobi, not only in Parklands, Highridge Ward.
All right. Thank you very much. To the next question for you, Mr. Kassim. Cable companies come and dig up newly done roads and pavements to pass the cables and do not return them to their original state. Actually, case in point is right outside our studio. We do have the cabling and the disruption of the road situation. How do you plan to tackle this?
Thank you, Tabi. You see, another cardinal role for an MCA is legislation. Okay? So when a company is coming to us to maybe say improve our technology systems in Parklands, so what we need to do is exactly what we are going also to ask them. How are we benefiting? You see, that's their business. They have to do that. Very true. But now we will call them for a CSR project and tell them you have to own up for your mistakes. Second, you have to give back to the community. How are they going to do that? Loan issue, you are asking me the previous question. They'll be the right guys to do the loan. See, we'll have to do an MOU with them and tell them, look, before you dig in, residents are going to ask me, okay? If I'm the sitting MCA, they'll ask me. I mean, the ward is not in good condition. And remember, Parklands Highridge ward is a magnum. It's very energetic in terms of its resources. It's a big power. It's a big word. Okay, I told you even before, we have blue chip companies. We have these right people for technology. Okay, how is the common resident benefiting from it? Instead, they will dig it, leave it open. A child even can fall in that hole. So we are going to question them, write to them, okay, from my office. Suppose I'm the sitting MCA. I'm very, very optimistic, okay, that we have to change Parklands, and we are not only starting from those pits that they're digging, but we are going to question them before we give them a license. Before we have to know, like a plan, mid, short, and long term. If you're gonna dig this hole, who will I hold accountable? It's your company. I am for the people. Representation comes in as a cardinal role for an MCA. So it's not about you coming, doing your business, and when I stop you doing your business, you'll talk about your business. But I'll put you down on a very, very calm situation, and we're gonna have an agreement. Okay?
Maybe so the agreement is in line with the CSR projects.
Yes, them. I want now to get the best from them, because let me tell you something, Tabby. For the records, we don't see any CSR activities going on. For your information, we have been digging in money from our own pockets to make Parklands change. Nobody is coming. Have you? I don't know. Maybe me. I don't have any sponsor who has helped me. Maybe some of my colleagues. But if you are going to give me 100 seedlings and you're digging my pit, I'll ask you for labor as well. Then I'll call the youth, integrate them, and give them an opportunity to work. I'll call the mamas who do the cleaning for us.
Yeah, but sorry, is this in line with how you'll handle the...
Yes, how I'll handle the situation will be a CSR vis-a-vis project that will incorporate our youth, our very own people. These companies we can tell them, like, take 50 or 40 people from this ward. Okay? Then we give you the whole road or 2 roads, and you give back to the community because they have the ability. You see, digging a hole and leaving it open, it will cause a big menace to the Parklanders.
All right.
Thank you.
Any comments? Yes, sir.
Honorable Malde, when I think you guys give permission for them to dig and all that, aren't they supposed to come and replace the way they found the area?
Of course, yes. There is a legislation, there is a law. Yeah, when we give the permit, we tell them.
Then who follows that law who follows that law?
That is the Nairobi City County.
Then how come it's not being followed as
executive side?
Sorry?
Executive side, they are following it up. Our officers are on the ground. Our officers are already on the ground. Most of them are on the ground. And whenever there is a problem, they give the notices to the people.
Malde, I don't think, to be sincerely open, there is ever anything of that sort has ever happened unless the person owning the house or the building does it him or herself.
No. Always they do it. Whenever we give the permission.
This Mogosio Road. Since last 5 years, I think I've seen this road that they have built here. They dug the hole, brought the manhole. It has been with the hole till now.
No, there was a problem of Mogosio Road. The contractor wasn't been paid. So there was challenges of paying the payments. That's the reason it was.
That means the Raya has to suffer that. Because
no, it was a stalled project, yes.
Let's just please ask the question and allow him to answer. Mr. Malde, what you're saying is the contractor wasn't paid, and hence the situation that they did not dig it back.
They didn't finish the project. It was incomplete because they didn't pay. The payment wasn't paid to the contractor.
Which is a matter that is still ongoing?
Yes, it's ongoing. Yeah, the matter is in court.
Mr. Ronak.
Simple. Is it being followed up?
Yeah, of course, yes. Everything has been followed.
Who is supposed to be blamed?
It is the executive side who is following it up here.
Not the MCA. He has nothing to do with the
No, even MCA is following it up. Also, yeah, because that is our role.
Because I believe for the past 5 years, Mogocho Road has just been the way it is. The only thing has happened, the portholes have been just filled with kokoto. Believe me or not, if it rains 3 days, that all portholes will come back in line. So I guess the MCA should have brought in a strong contractor, because I believe you used to take videos and flash that, oh, I've done that project. So I guess
So
indirectly
we are following it. We are following it. That matters, and we cannot finish everything at overnight. Anyway,
True, very
yeah.
true.
So the Parkland Highridge ward is a bigger ward.
True.
But if you can see, majority of the roads has been done.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malde. Yet another question for you, Mr. Harish. Parklands will soon be like, and I quote, Parklands will soon be like Isili if we do not stop any further constructions. We will be a concrete jungle soon if the council keeps approving constructions, and we will hardly have any roads left. What is your response to this?
Well, the very first thing, already, most of them, they've already got the licenses and they have already been approved by the government as we are sitting right now. Unless now, if we change and we come in, that is the time, after that is when we can stop the construction. 1, 2. As the construction is going on, the way our Honorable just told us, I don't see when we have rains, everybody gets stranded. They have made these roads, everything, I agree, but where are the drainages of these roads? As the construction is booming, we find every now and then when there is rain, all the sewages overflow. We have people getting sick, which has not been followed for last, I don't know for how many generations. Now, as the construction structure is going on, after maybe, if God willing, I come in, we will try to stop, not to give it any further and find out a solution of getting Parklands more better than what it is.
Kuvu nasema kwamba there can be legislations to stop constructions that cause congestion.
Ndio, one, naye tunatengeneza kwa kiwango ionekane kwamba haitachukua nafasi, naye iwe kama vile inatakikana kwa sheria ifuate na isilete maji ya manini yoyote wakati ya kunyesha imejaa hapo kwa barabara.
All right. Mr. Murad, do you have a comment or a response to this as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think development is inevitable, so we just have to try and manage it. I think one of the things that what we want to do is when we come in is sort of do a data mapping exercise. So identify the roads that have the biggest problems and the drainage. And I think the problem in the past has been that the people who are employed to do the job haven't done it properly. So we're getting the wrong people to do the job. So when we get in, let's identify and let's fix it properly once and for all. Get the Cabro in, get the experts to say, okay, what needs to be done, and do it immediately within the resources we have, but not wait till the election and then you do window dressing. Because the election's coming, then you pave the roads. It's got to be something that's done from the beginning of the MCA's term.
Though it was about approving constructions and not the roads, but okay. I hear you. Thank you very much, Mr. Mistry.
According to me, I don't think the construction should be stopped. Why?
We are not saying the construction to be
stopped. The construction should be, the listener should identify.
They have to bring, the way they are bringing these high buildings,
yeah.
They have to bring it in a way so that it does not get congested, 1. 2, we have safety of drainages. We don't get, when we're having heavy rains and all that, we don't get floods. We are sure that nothing or any kind of disaster happens in the vicinity.
True. Okay. So listener, I think he should have identified what kind of construction. Is he talking about residential area or is he talking about malls, offices, what? Because if it is construction of a malls, I guess it's creating employment. That's how.
Yeah. I think because the listener mentioned Isili, it has to be about residential areas and congestion.
I don't think it will be that much.
What she is trying to say, as we have the way it is, as Isli was, the way
if it goes on like that, it will become like Isli.
Yes.
Okay.
I think you've got to match the development with the infrastructure.
Because you have to balance it with the people so that we don't get overcrowded people while it gets overcrowded and we don't have business. It will bring insecurity again.
Okay, well understood.
Tabi, let me just add a point on that.
Yes.
I think you must understand as an MCA, you see, this goes back to our roles. Suppose you are the MCA, what do you need to do? See, there is a policy document by the city county. It's called the CIDP. Okay? That county integrated development plan is a plan to develop the ward. Okay? So this issue will come like the overcrowding of spaces and buildings is because we are not following the plan. We are quick at giving permits, and that's why maybe my colleague Harish was trying to put across, not to stop the buildings, but now to bring sanity back. It's like we should follow up a certain pattern. That's another thing that I would like also to add there is that if you look at our roads, they're so small. Okay, when you are trying to now overtake in the small sub roads from the main roads, you literally have to wait for the other vehicle to give way so that you can drive back. Now, what is the problem with that? Is the planning. Okay, it's an annual plan. You see, when you are sitting MCA, you're supposed to know like your role. You're supposed to be there. Okay, it's a bigger role. Yes, it's challenging. Yes, but again, what does it lead to? Can of worms. It will haunt you. Okay, so planning should take the best toil in such matters of the ward. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. We will go to the next question for you, Mr. Mistry. If you care to respond to this, police are supposed to be our safe haven. However, many times the police have been accused of bullying and threatening people. What is your response to this if elected, and how will you change the situation?
Okay, if I'm elected, I think it's all about working with the Parklands police station, the OCS and the OCPD. I will give a very good example. Myself, I was harassed last Sunday, where the roundabout is here. All the police, they stand there and wait for petty things. Or the tire is worn out, your car color is gone faint, or give us 1,000, 2,000, that kind of harassment. So that one, I think you have to engage with the OCS of our area to bring in line to stop that kind of harassment. So again, you have to be on toes on day-to-day basis. You have to interact, because sitting in the office, you cannot put your hands up to there. You don't know what is happening on the ground. So basically, if I'm elected, I'll be on the ground. I'll see what is happening and getting the complaints. I guess there are so many complaints coming on social media as well with the security. So yes, you have to engage with the station itself, that this is happening. It needs to be stopped with immediate effect.
So,
very simple.
Do you believe it's a legislation matter?
Well, I will say yes and even no, but yes, it can be tackled very simply, the way I just explained myself. It is not something big issue. Yes, the harassment is there, which we have seen it, which we have all experienced on day-to-day basis. Some are legit, some are not. So yes, you have to cope up with it sometimes, but yes, you have to work hand in hand with the people at the station.
All right, Mr. Malde, would you approach it differently, having been the sitting MCA and having the issues of security being raised again, police harassment in the next 5 years if elected? Would you approach this differently?
Tabi, it is a two-way traffic regarding the police harassment and the laws. We have a strict laws in place, and we mentioned so many times that whenever you are arrested, don't give the bribes. Why are you giving the bribes? Why are you doing the shortcuts? So many times they call me that I am arrested and can you come? So many of time I go there, I ask the officer what is the problem, and then they get released. And I tell the OCS and OCPD, we don't want the harassment of the investors or the residents, and it works out very well. Sometimes, yes, of course, so one or two incidents happens and it escalates on social media also, but it is a two-way traffic. You see, again also, corruption is two-way, not one-way. Also, yeah, you see, as a citizen of the country, you should fight for the rights of your law.
Two-way traffic.
Two-way traffic, yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mistry.
But I guess the harassment has become a very day-to-day norm. Like example, it's become like a festival on every Sunday. I see it from my house on the Ojijo roundabout. They are always there. They've all lined up 4, 5 at one go. Every car comes, put it on the side. Put it on the side. So it's not. I don't think it's a two-way traffic, because no one wants to go to the station and start writing. So I think you should overlook it. You should go there personally on the ground, because everybody is seeing it. No one is there. No one is blind. All the people are seeing it. So I think it needs to. You have to be there physically to stop it.
So we're saying an MCA has the influence over
Yes,
the
he has
harassment.
to go on the ground level and stop it.
We don't have any influence. You see, the laws are very clear, and the officers know their things, how to do it and what to organize, how to organize it also. Yeah, we as MCAs, we go and help the residents. If there is any complaints, harassment, we go to the station. We tell the OCS, OCPD why you are harassing the residents, and it reduces. As I mentioned, also it's a two-way thing.
All right.
You see, if 5 people are arrested and they all go to police station, definitely there must be some problem. So OCS intervenes, and if it is nothing serious, they're released without any money.
Thank you.
But
very much.
when you give something, obviously it's a temptation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malde. Mr.
Well,
Harish.
I think you have to be on the ground, because then you can understand what the people are going through. That's what Ronak was saying. And I also think, going back to media, Jayendra Malde said sensationalizes, but media can be also a very good way of exposing this. Like you said, social media. So I think those are good responses.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Harish, I'd like to hear your take about the police harassment and bullying and threatening.
Well, as I told you, the very first thing what we require in Parklands area is to have a unity. And security-wise in Parklands, there is a big issue because we have every kind of officers who are involved. There are about 5 parts. There is of police officers which are in Gigiri divisional. So by saying, like some other officers, you'll get them coming from some other area, coming to this place to harass, which most of us, we like the people who are on the ground know about it. Like the way Malde is saying, if I was in issues, the very first thing I would have done is talk to the top person every 3 months or 6 months to have a meeting to find out what the problem with our people and the police is. Like when we used to have good officers, I don't think there was any kind of harassment as long as we were all in a unity and having a good conversation with our OCS, the OCPDs, the DCIOs till the top. It's just that recently the reshuffle has come, and every now and then when we have a reshuffle, he is supposed to go and have a meeting with the new guys to explain how it is going on, and it carries on that way.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Hassanali, you have been quite quiet about this. Do you have
I'm listening from my colleagues and I'm learning so much, actually.
Do you have a point or a comment about the security matter?
Yes, I have a comment on it. Security matter.
Or rather, police harassment.
Okay, let's put it like you're saying, police harassment. I had an incident whereby one of my neighbors was harassed by the police, but the police were not from Parklands. Okay? In fact, right now you don't know who is a legal police or not legally a policeman. See, some even come like undercover cops. They're taking advantage. Okay, they're blocking roads. They're asking, where is you whatever, what are you carrying, how much money are you carrying, things which are irrelevant to what it's supposed to be. But putting the house in order, I think the best thing we need to do is go on ground, be there, reach those spots, try and see. You see, we are for the people, and that's why I keep on telling you the 3 roles of what you're supposed to do, because you can't sit happy or you are done with your work. We know like it's a calling job. Before you come into this line of duty, you understand that on a Sunday, like the way my colleague has just put it across, people are being harassed on a Sunday. So why don't you find out what is happening there and you take a step, you take a stand and tell the traffic commandant. Okay, you call them and say, look, people are being harassed. All this will go back to me. Look at the social media complaints. You put something, it's just about the dialogue that you're going to share with them. And also you're going to share the importance of people feeling free to do their jobs, to walk around. You understand? Yes, you might have one or two things which is not right on your vehicle. Maybe your tires are off. What is the best way to say?
All right.
Okay, and again, we have to follow the law and the order. Just like they also have to follow our side for the residents' protection. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Yes, Mr. Mistry.
On security measures, because the topic has come up, I think we need to also bring in the community policing back. I think it has been vanished, like the ORC, there's the
there.
Aga Khan. I don't think they are still operating.
They are.
I think we
They are
need
active.
coordinate.
They are active.
They
Community
were very
policing.
minimal. What they were active before, right now they have not
Sleeping.
been boosted.
Yeah, because there are no volunteers to help them.
Exactly. That is what I'm trying to say, that we need to bring them back. We need to boost them, bring more volunteers on board, which can help to boost security. Because if you see Parklands police station, they don't have so many fleets to go around, and on foot, the police cannot do so much. So we need to go to the community level and urge people, the youths, to come out. Because everybody is roaming at night, going discotheques here and there. They can give their 3-4 hours with their police and with their friend and go around with the police.
All right.
Which
Community policing is ongoing. There is 3 community policing: Aga Khan, ORC, and the Kachi ones. They are ongoing, and there are a lot of volunteers. Even during the time of elections, also they are doing the 24-hour security thing.
But are they doing on day-to-day basis? Like
Of
they
course,
used to,
yeah,
because
every day.
myself I
They
was
are.
engaged in ORC.
It's Monday to Sunday, in fact.
No,
yes.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It
no,
is
no, no,
ongoing.
no, no.
It is
Yeah, they are.
because I am,
ORC was on day-to-day basis.
yes, it is.
Harish guy will comment better.
They have 4 cars every day, 6 to 6 in the evening. Yes,
No.
yeah, with the 2 police officers together with the car.
Each and every day.
Yes, yes,
we
yes,
have
yes.
4. There should be 2.
Where are they?
Yeah,
Because I've never seen them.
Even they have
Not
the
being
base.
engaged.
Even they have the base at Second Parkland also.
Yes, because
Yeah,
that's why
yeah.
I'm commenting, because myself I used
No,
to be
no.
part of it, but I think it's got vanished.
No,
Alright.
it is there.
The volunteers are getting discouraged because no one is engaging with them.
No, there is ongoing.
Security measures, I think you need to
ongoing,
go
there is,
personally to all the
Alright.
communities and bring the youths out.
Thank you very much. Please let's remember to give each other a chance to discuss, or rather to speak out their thoughts. While we are at you, Mr. Malde, there's a question for you which was brought up earlier. We have seen several community schools being taken over by the Ministry of Education. Case in point, the ongoing Arya Samaj situation, previously with Aga Khan Primary as well, where trees were cut and building structures brought up, despite there being a court injunction against that. How have you handled, or how are you handling this situation?
It is under Ministry of Education, and the court, you see, when it is the case is ongoing, we cannot do anything contempt of court. Yeah, it will be contempt of court, but it is ongoing. The matter is already with the community and the Ministry of Education,
So,
and it is ongoing.
So what exactly happened in respect of the primary school?
No, the case is ongoing.
Yeah, no,
In
I'm
fact,
saying what happened. Who was responsible
you see,
for that?
it will all depends on the judgment of the court.
But what's the issue? How did they? Who are the people who went in and did that?
It is a parents teachers associations, PTAs. Yes.
Well, I went to the Arya Samaj the other day. I mean, it was not just a question of they're building. They've grabbed the land and they're actually building despite the court injunction. But what they actually did is they went into the neighboring compound and they cut the trees down.
Both the
So
lawyers
they were
are,
trespassing.
both the lawyers were on the site. It was ongoing. The case is ongoing.
And when they went
Yes.
to the police station, they said this is not a
And-
matter, because they came and trespassed on the property, cut the trees down. When they went to the Parklands police station, they said this is not a matter for us. This is for NEMA because it involves the environment.
Sorry to.
Sorry, I'll
No
just cut
problem.
you short. Does that mean that according to you, there's limited powers about the situation for the MCA?
No, I think again, going back to things like, you've got to create a storm. You've got to get the media involved, and there are ways of fighting it in court. But I think it's not easy, but it can be done and has been done. So I think you've got to look at the legal options, look at the media. So we're trying to get the media now to cover it, because it's shocking, because it's a government organized. It's the Ministry of Education itself that's done it. It's not a private developer. It's a government institution that's
Both
gone in
sides
and
of
done
the
it.
lawyers were there also. I think everything is ongoing. Case is ongoing also. About the trees also is ongoing. The cases are ongoing also. Yes.
So you're overlooking at that scenario.
Not overlooking. We are already involved in that thing.
Because I believe all the answers are going to the court. Everything is in court.
Yeah, but when the matter is in the court, you cannot take the law into your hands.
Then how
No,
can
you-
they
Yes.
how can they take the law in their hand while you are a
No,
person?
they are not. You see, that's the matter.
They already entered inside
That
the
is
premises.
that is the reason the matter is in the court,
All
and
right.
that both the lawyers are fighting for it.
Maybe let's pick up from the role that, or how you came in. The issue came up. So, in your capacity, how did you handle the situation before you left it over for the court?
When they called me, I was on the site, and I told them they had a permission from the environment department, and I told on the other side of Arya Samaj also that why don't you call the your lawyer, because they said the matter is in the court.
All right.
Then I cannot involve myself when the matter is in the court. Yes, as a MCA.
Okay. And while we're at matters of land, maybe tell us about the bill that you sponsored, the Nairobi County Evictions, Resettlement and Demolitions Control Bill 2020. Yeah? Maybe tell us a little bit about that bill and how its application so far until to date.
Well, I brought that bill in the parliament of Nairobi City County, but it's still on the debate. It has not gone through it. Yes, it is still on the debate because we don't want illegally demolitions of the land or just grabbing of the land also. That is the reason I brought that bill in the parliament. But it is still ongoing. It is on the debate side. It is not finished yet. It's still ongoing.
All right. Thank you. Comments?
Just a quick
Yes.
one. I think whoever of us comes in as MCA, we're going to have to deal with an important issue. And I think it's good that we're sitting here because the issue of deep sea, gender by maybe, I mean, I know they've been given.
Sorry, I think we will come to that.
okay.
We will come to that. Actually, it is the next question. Maybe you can pause that in the next question. Mr. Ronak, which is directed to you. The question is, there are major concerns about security matters among voters of this ward, many which are attributed to having the deep sea slum around residential areas. How are you going to assure the members of this ward that how are you going to assure the members of the ward of security if elected? And then maybe we can bring in the comment you had.
Security? I didn't get the question. Sorry, it's jungled up.
There are major concerns about security matters among the voters of the ward, many being attributed to having the deep sea slum around residential areas. So the question is how to assure members of this ward for security with regards to the deep sea slum.
Security, I think we have spoken about the security. How
With
to
regards to the deep sea slum.
specific with the deep sea slum.
Yes, because the question is the deep sea slum is bringing security matters because it's situated around residential areas. Insecurity.
Is that right? Insecurity. The deep sea people are creating insecurity in Parklands.
Yes, that is a concern.
But I guess we need to work again, I said, with the police forces to, I guess you can allocate a police booth near deep sea to control that crowd, because I guess that's a very huge crowd. We are talking about almost more than 15,000 people who are there. But yes, that it becomes very chaotic. So I guess we can put more forces there. We can bring in more security there. We can put there are those police booths everywhere. So we can allocate some booths there, because I don't see, because you cannot put, let's say, almost like 4 policemen over there who can handle almost 15,000 people. Doesn't make sense. So I guess we need to work in hand with the police department to bring in more forces, because that crowd is being omitted. Yes, insecurity, it comes from there. But yes, we need to work.
So
As I said,
more security forces within
more security
the
forces
slum.
to be deployed there or
Within the
around
slum.
that,
Okay.
in that slum.
All
Yes.
right, Mr. Murad.
Yes,
you have a
okay. I'm
comment?
glad you brought up deep sea. Very important. So I think, when we walk around there and we do the cleaning and we walk around, most of the people just want a decent job. Most of them are hardworking. It's amazing. You've got young mothers looking after 2 or 3 children and they don't have jobs, right? So again, a sort of job creation and support system needs to happen, because if you have unequal development, then it's always going to cause problems. So we need to create development for all the people in the ward, and I think that will help solve the problem. So the other thing is, because I know Deep Sea, they've been given some eviction notice, but it's in the court again. I don't know what the others know about it, but I think it's a matter that as MCAs we must be anticipating, because what's going to happen to them if they're evicted? How is Parklands, how's the next MCA going to deal with that?
Government is looking into it. Always they cannot displace the people.
But they just have displaced some, right? When the road.
No. They were compensated.
Well, yeah, I
They
don't
were
know who was
compensated
compensated.
three times. Then they had got the land other places also, and it was shifted them also. So
I don't know. I mean,
the
I know a lot
policy
of
of
them.
the government, they cannot displace any person.
Oh, listen, I know that people were displaced, and even the ones that did get compensation, it's something like 5,000 shillings. So where's that going to take you?
No, not 5,000. It was more money, and it was compensated 3 times also. And they got the space other areas also.
Now that you mentioned compensation, maybe tell us how much was the compensation, and we do have situations where some of them actually went back.
You see, sometimes they are compensated 25,000, 50,000 shillings, and they get the space in other areas also.
Yes. Just a moment. The problem is that it's unequal compensation. It's not the right people who get the compensation, right?
Yeah, which is true, because most of the people wale wanaishi hapo hata hawapatangi harufu ya hiyo pesa. Wanasikia tu. Ndio tunataka kumuuliza kwamba tueleze ni mtu gani ule adipsia alikula hizo pesa.
Yeah, kabisa, because we went there when the road was
the
demolished,
list is
and we
with the
asked
chiefs,
them.
DOs and DCCs. You see,
All right.
it doesn't go directly to
That's
the
the
owner.
problem.
Yeah, but through chiefs and DCCs, it is verified and they are given the
So in the
money.
middle, it gets disappeared. It's
Exactly.
not reaching to the right
The money
person.
is given.
All right, just maybe Mr. Malde, clarify how the compensation happens. If it's not directly, what's the structure of that compensation? And do you have, or are you in a position to assure or confirm that the members who are supposed to be compensated were compensated?
Yes, 100%. Because you see, it is very transparent by the government. The list comes to the chiefs. It has been verified. They go to the ground, they check it, everything. But again, you see, as I mentioned, you cannot just say that you are displaced here and tomorrow you come back again and then again you need a compensation. That is the reason 3 times they were compensated and they were shifted.
Any comments, gentlemen?
I mean, I think we're just the main point is that I think if it's given to the chiefs or whoever, it didn't go down.
The list is the chief.
But it didn't go to it hasn't gone to the right people. We went there when the demolition happened of the road, and we were asking the people, and they were saying, no, we haven't.
Did you play a role?
Then why didn't they complain officially?
Who's going to listen? Nobody listens.
No, they should have come to my office. They should have, complained to me. I would have taken up the issue.
But if by the time we come and
As the area
complain to you,
MCA.
you should have known the people who are there, because as you are seated,
Yes.
you should be having the list of the people.
Yes.
So that as we are asking you, as we are asking you at the moment, you should
They
just
have
tell us.
answers.
Whoever was not
Okay.
compensated, they should have come to my office and then I would have to take the matter.
So according to you, the people who were supposed to be compensated were compensated.
Yes, 3
and
times
the
in
list
fact.
was available to you and the chief and the DOs.
Yes. It is, yeah.
So in short, we are trying to say you have the list of the people who are
Yes.
compensated.
The list is with the chief's office.
No.
Yeah. But I can access it.
So you
Alright.
played a major role in that.
No,
You are aware.
Yes, I was aware, yeah. They were compensated.
All right. And say tomorrow someone comes to you in the claim that maybe they were not compensated. Will you ensure that they are
I will
compensated?
take up the matter. Yes, to the authority. Yes,
All right.
if it is a genuine case.
All right. Comments? We're okay. Thank you very much. All right. To all of us, at the end of the day, there will only be one MCA who will be elected. And I just want to know that for the person who wins, what kind of support will they expect from the rest who were aspirants but didn't actually win the position? And I think we'll start with Mr. Ronak.
Everything is starting from here. So you're trying to say, example, if someone is winning, the rest, how we will support him.
Yes.
So winning and losing doesn't matter. The person who wins it, yes, we need to work in hand with that person.
So I think the question is the type of what,
How?
how the support. Yes.
Support, yeah. We'll sit down with the elected MCA and see how we can go about things. Rest in detail, obviously, I cannot say from now how I'll help that particular MCA in what manner, because that I'm on air right now. I don't want to disclose any, like I don't want to guarantee that if Kassim wins, I'll be with him, I'll do this, I'll do that. But yes, you will find me, I'll find him. We'll work in hand. We bring Parklands up. Yeah, but specifically, I cannot say, oh, I'll help him in this manner, that manner. True or false?
Very true.
Yeah, but we'll sit down. We'll have a cup of
Coffee here,
the masala tea, like.
He likes masala tea.
Yeah.
Mr. Malde, if one of the aspirants wins and may not be you or might be you, how would you support or how would you plan to support that aspirant?
First of all, it's a winning and losing game, yeah, always. And there is only one winner. You see, as a leader, we should always sit together and we make sure how the vote becomes better and better and how we can help the residents.
So you will work in hand in
Yeah,
hand.
we
with the
have to
winning.
work hand in hand. You see, right now, let me tell you, all these 5 years, I was alone. And these aspirants, except my brother Harish, we were new. You see, they should tell that, okay, let's come together and what are the challenges of the residents of Parkland Highridge Ward and how we can come and chip in and do the ideas, brainstorming and whatnot. After all, we are the residents of Parkland Highridge Ward and we will be staying together. And we, as a residents, we have to build ourselves together. There is no harm, you see. There is no enmity at all. After all, we are all brothers. And this is our ward. And it is, we should own it and to help the people of Parklands Highridge Ward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malde. Mr. Hassanali, can the winning aspirant for the MCA position expect support from you?
Of course, yes. First of all, we are a community. Most of us have outfit for the community. And for you to be a strong community leader, we have to carry our projects, but I'm speaking on my behalf. My foundation, Kassim Hassanali Foundation, is still live and clear. I've been helping people since Corona. That's when I started seeing the light. Okay, so with the current sitting MCA, who is gonna come after the elections of 9th August, I'm gonna sit with him. If he's someone, the way Ronak has said, we can work together. Why not? We are for the people. We need to bring a change. And I will also learn from him if he's a good mentor, corruptionless leader, and maybe take Parklands to another level. Maybe show him how my ideas and my manifestos could have benefited Parklands Highridge Ward. But that is if he's workable, if he can assist us, if he can work with us. But again, if we become enemies, it's going to be very hard for us to walk in his office. Okay? You understand, we are aspirants. We're on the same table today. Even some of us have given up. They have not come. You know, it's not an easy thing. You understand? But we are looking into working together. Thank you, Tabi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hassanali. Mr. Patel.
Well, I would like to first of all thank everybody. We will work as a team. We don't care as even whoever comes in the chair. But my humble request, it's high time now, is what we have gone through, whoever gets the chair, whoever is seated or whoever is in the field, to be given an opportunity and to be shown a way forward for the coming next election. He or she should be ready for it with the knowledge of what is going on. Not that as we talk here, tukitoka kwa mlango hatujuani. Tunataka kwamba kila mtu awe pamoja. As we have got our 44th tribe, Let us work as an Asian unity and everything we can bring it to a change, to bring a better Kenya, so that all Kenyans and our Kenya is blessed together as one.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patel. Finally, Mr. Murad.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we've interacted outside with most of the people, and I know that most of them are engaged in activities, social activities. I think everybody sitting here is doing it. So they're obviously engaging in activities and doing things to try and help the people. From my perspective, I started doing the kind of work I've been doing, community work. I started that even before I decided to stand as an MCA. The reason why I wanted to stand as an MCA, I thought if you can push for legislation policy, then you can get broader change. But I started the work before getting onto the ballot, and whatever happens on the 9th of August, that work is going to continue. And definitely would like to work with the new MCA, because I'll need to do that in order to get my environmental and other projects going. So it's absolutely essential that we will work with whoever comes in.
All right. Thank you very much. So to the last question, before we get the closing statements, we all know that a leader needs to uphold certain values. So we'd like to know, what challenges have you experienced in your life individually that have molded your character to term yourself as a leader? We will begin with you, Mr. Rayani.
I think, challenges are part of life, right? And they make you stronger. And I think they make life interesting and exciting because you push yourself, right? So I think primarily, I mean, my journalistic work brought on a lot of challenges. You know, we were there filming during 2007 post-election violence. We were right in the middle of things in Kibera. We went to Kisumu. We got cameras stolen. So those kind of challenges, are immediate, and you have to face them. So those, when you're in the field as a journalist, right in the middle of the chaos, then you have to think on your feet, and so those have been big challenges. Yeah, the biggest, one of the biggest challenges has been, just traveling around the continent. We've many difficulties. We went to the Danakil Depression, which is in the Afar region of Ethiopia. It's the hottest place on earth, and the whole crew got sick. So these are sort of physical challenges and immediate challenges. But I think the bigger challenge is believing in yourself and making sure that if you go for something, you go with it for all your heart. So it's more inside. You're challenging yourself in your mind to get something done.
Thank you very much.
That's a big challenge.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rayani. Mr. Patel, what challenges would you say that you have faced that have molded your character?
Oh, I have faced every kind of it in life. I've had bullets passing through, undertaker, everything, you name anything. Well, my main aim is, if I get or we become, any of us, we work as a family first. Second is, we, after getting the 44th tribe, we want our Asians to come in the government now, to come in publicity that there is a clan, there is a tribe that we were officially being given by the president. We want Asians to be recognized in every part of the government. I want them to be employed. Let us go in any kind, whether the police, army, immigration, any kind of stuff, and we to have the freedom of what we were having before, and it goes on till whatever we get, or we get my humble request to the president, vile tumepata hiyo tribe, pia tupatiwe nchi yetu mali kadogo, mali hata sisi Wahindi sasa tuwe na nyumba yetu, oshago yetu.
Thank you very much. However, so you have not clarified the challenges, but you said you've gone through quite several.
Well, like,
in terms of who you, as you term yourself as a leader today, there probably are challenges that have drawn you to mold you to be the person that you
I
are.
have seen a lot of people with every kind of trouble, which I've helped in every and in any way which I am capable of. While I will be in the chair, it will give me more courage and strength to help it more further, to make them better place, in a better place, and to make it like they can, and they will have faith in me, so that we carry on to bring better Parklands and better unity of the people of Parklands.
Thank you. Mr. Hassanali.
Thank you. My biggest challenge emanates from my firstborn daughter. I lost my firstborn daughter with cancer. And by that time, I didn't have a lot of things happening. Maybe the best thing that I could understand from that episode is that sometimes it's good to listen to somebody. It's good to assist somebody. So that turned my life around. Yes, I missed a lot of opportunities in my life. And I took care of my daughter until she passed on. And that taught me human nature. Okay? And the second thing, which is the biggest weakness, even my spouse tells me, is my kindness. I get over kind. Okay? So it's a problem I have. Okay? But
It's a good problem.
is it a good thing? I think so. Yeah, so sometimes you can come with a problem and that I try to fix it to the very best level, but sometimes I don't have. But again, you can't please everybody. So I think that changed me to become a better politician every day of my life. And I somehow know and I somehow feel my aura is taking me there. And definitely I'm gonna be there. Thank you.
It's
Thank
like
you.
giving somebody a smile, you get the blessing, the same smile goes on. That is the happiness. That is the happiness of some people who are built with it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you.
Hassanali. Mr. Malde, what challenges have you gone through that have molded you as the leader that you are today?
Thank you, Debbie. You see, when I became an MCA, as elected MCA, the biggest drawback for mine when I got arrested and without any charges, I was put in 3 nights into police station. You see, that affects you very much. That when you are serving the people, people don't like. You see, there are a lot of jealousy sometimes comes, yeah, when you become a leader. But anyway, that will mold us, that we become a strong leader, and to face those challenges, we overcome all those challenges and we become very strong. And to serve the people, it's not that easy, and you cannot satisfy everybody. Yeah, but as a leader, it is our duty to serve the people wherever we can, because you see, God is giving the leadership. You see, you are voted by the blessings of Almighty. Not everybody can become a leader. That means you have a job to be done, and it's a responsibility comes to you when you become a leader. So it's a learning experience, and it is a satisfactory in your heart that something somewhere I did for the people. You get a lot of satisfaction, you see, and you become strong. Whenever you get more and more experiences, you become strong. Experience makes you perfect, always. Because nobody is a fully learned man, yeah. Every day we are learning something every day. That's a good part of it, of life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malde. Finally, Mr. Mistry.
Challenges come and go. So many challenges, whether it can be through businesses, I guess, family matters. I guess everybody goes through challenges. But yes, I'm a strong personality. I overcome my challenges with a smile on my face and tackle them very positively. And I believe I have the leadership skills which I can transform it in better ways. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. We have heard a lot about the plans that you have to move Parklands Highridge ward forward. And generally, the country is in a completely different state as compared to when we last went to the polls, having gone through inflation, the pandemic. So in 1 minute, maybe as we wind up this debate, take a minute to give us your closing statement, or tell us why should the voters of Parklands Highridge ward vote for you in 1 minute. We will do it in a different order. Mr. Hassanali, you will begin.
Thank you so much. We need to expect change. And when you don't accept change, you know what change is going to do to you. So my parting shot is that we have to do the best from our abilities. We don't have tomorrow, we have today. And that's why we're here today. So I'm looking upon doing what God has instilled in me based on my talents and based on who I'm really gonna be after this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hassanali. Mr. Malde.
My parting shot will be, we have to use our democratic right to come out and vote. Whoever your leader is, that is our democratic right. You see, if we don't participate, then we cannot blame the leaders, we cannot blame anybody. Come 9th, I humbly request everybody, whoever is registered voters, please join together, build our great country, Kenya. Because we are the citizens of this great country, if we don't do it, who will do it? It is us to change what we want. We have to fight for our rights also. We have to participate also in our country's affairs. So my humble request to each and every person who is registered voter 9th of August 2022, please use your democratic right, come and vote for your leader, and we make a difference and we take our great country further.
Hold on a second, sorry that we can hear some campaigning. Just give us a second.
Who is campaigning?
Who are we? Not one of us, is it? Someone over here.
Kassim.
Erungu. Malde's friend.
Sorry.
So-
Okay. You can continue. This is all?
Yeah.
So that is my appeal, because you see, when we ignore, things goes in a bad way and we cannot blame anybody. It is us to blame ourselves because we are not part of the change. So that is my humble appeal to each and every citizen of this great country, Kenya. Let us participate, let us bring good leaders who can trusted to make a change. Whether it is in a ward, whether it is in a constituency, or whether it is throughout Kenya as a presidential candidate, as the governor candidate, senator, women rep, whichever. That is your democratic right, and we must participate and we must build our country together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malde. Mr. Mistry.
Thank you so much, first of all, for having me here. To all the listeners, I would urge all of you to vote for me to bring a change. I'll keep it very simple. I guess we have had a very good session, and all our manifestos were discussed on air. It's upon the public to decide who to choose. I'm sure they are wise enough who they want as a leader for the next general elections. And yes, I would request everybody to support me as a youth, to come on with fresh ideas, fresh leadership, and yes, we shall transform Parklands into a better place.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mistry. Mr. Rayani.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to reiterate what Jayendra Malde said. Albert Einstein said, good things happen when bad people do nothing. So a lot of people I know at the audiences say, why bother? What difference will it make? It'll make a lot of difference. The decision you make on August the 9th will affect you and your children for the next 5-10 years. So come out and vote, come out and vote. Article 1 of the Constitution says all sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya and should be exercised only in accordance with this Constitution. The power lies with the people, right? So this is exercising your power, right? So I've given, very specific actions that we'll take, the Residents Association, the hotlines, etc. But I think I want to remind people that at the end of the day, you've got to choose someone who you believe has the integrity and the values to see the job through. I think I've got the energy, the ideas, and the determination to get the job done. I think we can make Parklands Highridge a model community, and we have the resources, we have the talent, so why don't we just get on and do it? Please vote wisely, but definitely vote.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rayani. Finally, Mr. Patel.
Well, my very first humble request is to all the Kenyans let us first of all have these elections in a very peaceful manner. We do not want to have any kind of havocs or anything so that we spoil the name of our country. And second is, I humbly appeal to all the Parklands and Highridge people who have their voting cards to come out in full force and engage or help whoever or whatever they want or whoever they want as their rightful MCA. But please do so that we now can have our better Parklands for our better Kenya. Thank you.
Well, gentlemen, you can go ahead and breathe in, breathe out. We
that's a
have
long
come
session.
to the end of our debate. Just to reiterate, we had a written commitment from Mr. Arjun Chauhan to attend this debate, but he is a no-show. However, the show has to go on. We have heard from all of you, and so have the voters of Parklands Highridge ward, who will be deciding on the polls on the 9th of August. Thank you for being part of this debate. It has been the first. I don't think there has been any MCA debate for Parklands Highridge.
No.
Thank you very much. Radio 44 is definitely here to provide the platform for everyone and also have the conversations the others do not.